Welcome to Australia. Rinus Kurlis is on pole from Ben Allen Lee and his teammate Spiker. Hachai Cilia starts fourth from Zakhar Hedenko and Andre Nesbestny. Moises Lima 7th for Hyperdrive Advanced, then it's Eddie Hart, Juan Villalobos and Thomas Holtz. Outside of the top 10, Nick Haymaker starts 11th from Cosmas Padesis and Gab Stappen. Points leader Gabriel Abarkson starts 14th from Star and Landry Zakaholi. Tam Andale, Chaos Andale, Sri Harishwar and Takanishi Moto make up the top 20, and outside of it you've got Silky, Cornwell, Tan and Brulez. Well, Melbourne hosted the first round last season. Now it's the midway point of season 3. All 5 lights go on for the Melbourne eTrophy. And we are green in Australia. Good start off the line there from Ben Allen Lee. Better start from his teammate Spiker, who tries to move up into second but can't get it done. But the race lead belongs to the 14 coming out of the opening chicane. Ben Allen Lee hasn't won a race in a good handful of seasons. Looks to try and take his first race win in the ERL, as it's known as now. Today, he leads from Hachai Cilia, who also got a pretty good start, and Rinus Kurlis. Look at this from Zakhar Hedenko. We go on board with the 23 as you can watch the 10 of Rinus Kurlis hop over the curb there. Everyone keeping it quite clean coming out of 8. So out in front, Ben Allen Lee, chased by Hachai Cilia. We go on board with the 22 from Italy as she goes for her second race win. Zakhar Hedenko having a very, very good start to this race. Hasn't really had the chance to show off the same pace he had at the start of the season. We go on board with Moises Lima in the number 2 Hyperdrive Advanced car. He's trying to fly around the outside of Rinus there, and I think he's going to get it. Those softs looking a lot quicker than the mediums. No one opting to start this race on the hards. Good Heart Racing having an absolute mare, not just in this race, but throughout this season. They run in 21st and 22nd for the team that has dominated most of the ERL FG Series existence. On board we go with the 2. Moises Lima in the slipstream of Spiker now, trying to get into the top 3. He runs in 5th right now. Ben Allen Lee dominating this race so far out in front, as we can watch the drivers coming through turn 8. They get close to the wall and expect them to get even closer when their tyres begin to drop off. 74% for Hachai on this second lap. She sets the fastest second sector and uses attack mode heading down the straight. She's closing in. The question is, when will she get past Andre Nesbestny further back in 12th place, getting a track limits warning, going side by side with Cosmas Padesis. It's a Baltic battle here down under. The 7 versus the 4. And Andre getting the pass done. Now on the back of his teammate as the attack mode train forms heading down the straight. Zakhar Hedenko in 3rd place with the fastest lap. Hachai Cilia going for the pass and gets it done. Coming out of turn 2, Hachai Cilia and Ben Allen Lee going 2 by 2 into 3. The inside line belonging to the team Impol driver in the 22. Hachai Cilia takes the lead, but Ben Allen Lee is not done with her just yet. Coming into the chicane in the 2nd sector. And unfortunately, he has to give it up. 2nd place, he's been relegated to, and now Zakhar Hedenko on the very back of that 2311 racing car. This is really some tough stuff that he's having to put up with here. Fastest 2nd sector goes to Landry Zakaholi in the number 1 Hyperdrive Advanced racing car. Coming through the final sector of this track, and you know, the new look Hyperdrive Racing team have seen some good things, but Moises Lima has just been hit with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Cilia and Hedenko both down into pit lane. Hedenko, the man with the fastest lap of the race so far, started in the top 5, which is something that we haven't seen from that Kando Racing team in quite some time. There have been rumours that the ERL FG Series will be using the ERL O2s next season, although we do not know exactly when these O1s will be retired. We just know it'll be soon. It's a 1-2 for 2311 Racing. The team having a very good day in the office down under, looking to get a win on the board. As you can see, Gabriel Abarkson, who came into this race leading the points, and a caution comes out. It's for, oh! Big spin there, it seems. Oh no! Big one. That's Tam Andale. No, it's Chaos Andale. Casanova Cornwell. I think Brulez was involved there too. Star, front wing damage for Gab Stappen, so he was in that mess as well. 3 cars out down at this chicane, and the cautions come out on lap 4. Yikes. Well, we're about to go green again. Take a look at these tires for Spiker as we go green here in Australia. We know for a fact a lot of these teams are going to have to keep one of their drivers out a little longer than they want to. Spiker, however, stuck on these soft compound tires to begin lap 5 of 14. He'll make it, but he's not going to take the lead. Moises Lima for Hyperdrive Racing Advanced takes the lead of this race. Despite his time penalty, he shows he's got a lot of fight left in him. On board we go with the number 13. These guys really pushing the limits of their tires. Looking back with the 2 car. And I think Spike is looking for a late lunge. Is he going to get it though coming through the chicane? He's not. That's good. If he tried to, that could have gone very, very poorly. So good job from the Mexican driver in the 13 for choosing not to potentially ruin both of their races. Looking at Eddie Hart in the 20 car. Now, his brother, Matthew, has just won in the Champ Car World Series. Their 6th race coming up immediately after this. Thomas Holt's getting a 2nd track limits warning. Brulez there, you can see in the 12 car for Revolution Racing, not having the fastest race, of course, still on those mediums. Let's take a look at the softs as the leaders come in. 16% as we've got some dark clouds here in Australia. Lima coming in from the pits. Renus Curlis comes in as well, so Hachai Cilia will take the race lead. Let's see what tire's going on for Renus Curlis. Hard's going on. Hard's for Spiker as well, as Cilia takes the lead. Hedenko now up into 2nd place. Where's Ben Allen Lee in this equation? He's down in 4th place, so he didn't get a very good stop to the 2311 man, but he's got good tyres to go to the end of the stint, and we do expect to see some rain, potentially near the end of this race, potentially after the race. And it's going to be on the team's minds for sure, but the floodlight's already out. As they come through the chicane, no one's on the green-walled inters yet. That's when you can tell the teams are very serious and thinking, okay, we might see some water here. On board we go with the 7 of Andrei Nesbesny, the Moldovan driver, looking to try and take 6th away from his teammate. They go side by side into the chicane. This could go poorly, but hopefully it doesn't. Both of them hop over the curbs. One of them's got attack mode though. That's Andrei moving up into 6th place past his teammate and covering off the potential lunge. Hedenko almost getting past Cilia there, but we expect one of these two to come in, and it is Zakhar Hedenko for Kondo Racing who comes in. Juan Villalobos moving up into 3rd, make that 2nd place, and with the fastest lap as well, a 105.217 as they come through the chicane. Hopping over the curb there, that seems to have been Ben Allen Lee darting to move up into 3rd place and potentially going for the lunge here. He looks like a man possessed as Landre Zakaholi takes the fastest lap in 15th place. Heading down into this fearsome chicane then. And they do keep it clean. No one's trying to go 2 by 2 through the chicane, and that's mainly just because all the drivers are aware of the caution that happened earlier in this race. So thankfully, they keep it as clean as they can, but that is a very good place to try and force yourself side by side as we go on board with Gabriela Boxing. There's a lot of room on the exit, just not a lot on entry. Villalobos trying to close up to Cilia, but those soft tyres on that Team Impul car not looking too hot as they come through the chicane. On board we go with Juan Villalobos. In comes the Italian, and who's also into the pits there? That's Eddie Hart for Trackhouse Racing. So Juan Villalobos taking the race lead with 6 laps to go, trying to take his 2nd race win of his career. Don't know if it will come today though. Look at this, the fight for 4th place. Currently headed by Nick Haymaker. Don't often mention him a lot as Spiker moves up into 4th place. Was leading the championship at some points this season as Holt's going side by side and past Nick Haymaker. We go on board with the American driver in the number 8 car. Struggling for grip, otherwise doing pretty good though. On board we go with Rainus Curlis. He's got a great run, gets past Haymaker, trying to go side by side with Holtz, gets the move done on him as well, just blasting past with the extra grip as they come through the chicane. How much time left for these guys before they consider a second stop? Some of these guys, remember, already had their second stop. For example, Celia and Hart out there on their second set of tires. On board we go with Takeyoshi Nishimoto, his teammate Casanova Cornwell already out of the race. As we go on to lap 9 of 14, 5 to go from Australia. And this championship certainly looks a lot different to the championships that we've had in comparison to season 1 and season 2. I think this is a lot more like season 2 in how many drivers are theoretically in it. But you don't know, no one really knows at this stage who's actually got the faster car, and that's because no one really does. So many rookies in the field, all the real talent is gone from the FG series in terms of different from the rest. Everyone's now more level as we go on board with Andre Nesbesny, who's struggling with his softs. Moves up into second place, but take a look at that dash. 22% tire wear, 21 in fact. Shredded like a, I guess, a bar of cheese. No real other comparisons I can make. Nasty and Tan also struggling with his tires, so expect the race leader to come into the pits as well. Juan Villalobos diving down into the pits. Also into the pits, Ben Allen Lee, Andre Nesbesny. So Spiker will take the lead here. Tam Andalay moving up into, well, that's 6th for now. That could become 7th if he doesn't do too much better, but that becomes 2nd instead with 4 laps to go. And Landre Zakaholi is on his 5th lap on the same set of softs. Now that's not what we really wanted to see for one simple reason. These soft tyres, we don't expect them to do any more than 4. And Anderley's already on that 4th lap then. 6 laps on the same set of hards for Nick Haymaker. Might have another lap left in them. 10% for Landre Zakaholi though. Coming into Sector 3, I think he might be able to make it. Get side by side, he's going to need some clear air to help his tyres out at 6% now as he comes across the marker. Goes over the track limits, passed by Zakar Hedenko and gets a 3rd and final track limits warning. 3%. I think he's just about going to make it into the pits then. And Hedenko going around the outside of Nick Haymaker. Landre Zakaholi, we expect him down into pit row. He's at 1%, 0% as he comes into the pits. So lucky to just have that puncture as he enters pit row. That was a very, very tense moment. Rule of Hyperdrive advanced. Zakar Hedenko with 3 laps to go leads this race, but we don't expect him to stay on those tyres to the very end. Everyone's got at least one more stop to make out of the pits there. 4 Spiker there. Passed by George Silky. Now we go on board with Thomas Holtz. Gets side by side and past Rainus Curlis, making a lunge on Spiker as well. This man is in the title hunt. In fact, both of the Impol drivers are in the title hunt, 2nd and 3rd in points, behind championship leader Gabriella Barton. It took a bit of time to get up to pace this season, but once he did, well, I don't think he could ever lose that speed. There goes Spiker up into 8th place. Meanwhile, further back, you can watch this with Nishimoto fighting over 14th place. Keep an eye on the timing tower for that. Skies look a lot brighter here in Melbourne as into pits comes Ukraine's Zakar Hedenko. Eddie Hart takes the lead. Juan Villalobos looking for a pass here. He's going to get it with the tandem. Moving up into the race lead for Mana Motorsport. And Hart hasn't got any response. Doesn't have the tyres to make it to the end, does the Scotsman. Taking a look at everyone out there. I think, aside from Eddie Hart, the tyres should just about last, but we've got yellows and a full course caution. That's Zakar Hedenko and Nishimoto. That's coming out of pit lane. Neither good Hart driver will come to the checkered flag today. And for the man who won the first race of the season, that is really clumsy stuff from him, coming out of the pits there, seemingly in the path of the good heart. Don't merge without looking, kids. Lap 12 of 14, and we're about to go green again here in Melbourne. We are now green. And on board with Eddie Hart we go. RS tyres shaping up, well, not bad, but also not great at 18%. Likely is going to come into the pits at the end of this lap to make it to the end. And with the margin to the rest of the field, he'll still likely be in the points as he rounds the final corner and stays out. That's bad news for the Scotsman. Lap 13 of 14. The penultimate lap of this race. 5 laps on the same set of soft tyres for Eddie Hart. I doubt that's possible. He's already showing some major drop-offs in pace. This is the type of lap times that we often see in the wet, so it's no wonder that Ben Allen Lee is closing in. His tyres aren't looking too good either. Let's take a look at Moises Lima for Hyperdrive Racing Advanced. On the outskirts of the top 10, Bastien Tan currently running up in 10th. As look at the run that Haymaker and Lima have on the Kondo Racing man. They're holding it side by side for now. Thankfully, they haven't touched yet. Here comes the 2 car. We go on board with Nick Haymaker, who just about keeps it clean, but he has to hold it side by side coming through. That big rounder as out of the race for Million Brulez. Gab Stappen once again involved in an incident. And Gabriela Barton, the points leader, is out. Oh! Oh, dearie me, look at that! Standing on the nose. My, oh my, what a penultimate lap. We are already having us a puncture for Eddie Hart. Eddie Hart, I knew he did 1 lap too many. Not even 1, he'll do 2 laps too many as we are under the caution flags. Gab Stappen's got wing damage. Silky for Revolution Racing's doing alright as we go on to the final lap. And for Juan Villalobos, he just needs to make it to the end. Ben Allen Lee gets past his countryman. I don't know how these tyres are shaping up for everybody, but I think Nesbesny's going to have the best tyres to the end as they come through the opening chicane. Nesbesny's got a time penalty for track limits. The Mexican running up in 4th. That Spiker might be the man to look at. As we go on board with Thomas Holtz, just gets past the Scotsman as Curlis gets a time penalty for causing a collision. Front wing damage as well. That seems to be contact with Eddie Hart. Meanwhile, out in front, 13% for Juan Villalobos, 15% for Ben Allen Lee. I think it really is just that man running out of time and running down the order. Eddie Hart, who is going to struggle with his tires coming to the end. So out in front as the cautions come out for Landry Zakaholi. That seals it. That seals the deal for Juan Villalobos. At 7% coming to the line, he cut it close, but he's going to make it. Sri Harishwar's tires doing not too good either. But for the Venezuelan, who took his first race win last season in Amsterdam, he's going to take another down under. The number 18, Juan Villalobos, takes victory today here in Australia. Ben Allen Lee is going to take a podium this season. It does seem like that, as it's a puncture, is it? Yes, for Sri Harishwar, his tyres let go. Coming through the final chicane, has to let everybody go by as he's hit by Bastien Tan. Will he be avoided by everyone? We hope he is. Heading to the line there. And just about as it's into the wall for Hachai Cilia. We've seen a lot worse. Oh, what a final handful of laps there. 16 finishes in today's FG Series race. Got Champ Car on the way after this. And of course the podium ceremony and a look at the championship standings at the halfway point of the season. Here's your podium. Venezuela's Juan Villalobos taking victory from Ben Allen Lee and Spiker. Well, it's an all-red podium. 2311 Racing coming second and third today, so that'll help out the Mexicans championship and ambitions. That's for the rest of the finishes. Thomas Holtz, 4th from Andre Nesbestny and teammate Nick Haymaker. Moises Lima coming home in 7th for Hyperdrive Racing. Then it's Tam Andalay, Sri Harashwa and Hatche Cilia. The non-scorers were Rainis Kurlis, Cosmas Badisa, Sebastian Tan, Silky, Gab Stappen and Eddie Hart. The non-finishers, Landre Zakaholi, William Brulas, Gab Stappen, Zaka Hidenko, Takeyoshi Nishimoto, Star, Casanova Cornwell and Chaos Andalay. In the point standings, Thomas Holtz has taken the race. The championship lead, from Gabriella Barton and Spiker. Nick Haymaker, 4th from Hatchai Cilia and Ben Allen Lee. Landre Zakaholi, 8th from Sri Harashwa and Tam Andalay. Then it's Moises Lima, Zaka Hidenko, Takeyoshi Nishimoto, Star, Andre Nesbestny, Cosmas Radisis, Sebastian Tan, Gab Stappen, Rainis Kurlis, Casanova Cornwell, Chaos Andalay, William Brulas, Silky and Eddie Hart. In the constructors standings, going into the second half of the season, Team Impol lead the way as they head into their home race from Red Bull Racing, 2311 Racing, Hyperdrive Racing advanced to the best of the rest. Then it's Chip Ganassi, Power Motorsport, Manor Motorsport, Kondo Racing heading into their home race are only 8th after winning the first race of the championship. Then it's Goodhart, Junior Motorsport, Revolution Racing tied on points with Trackhouse. Well, heading into the second half of the season, it looks like we do have quite the title fight unfolding. We got 3 drivers who are likely going to go for it. Thomas Holtz in his 3rd FG Series season, Spiker in his 2nd, Gabriella Barton also in his 2nd, but not his 2nd season of ERL competition. Next up, race 6 in the Champ Car World Series, and we will see you guys there when the Electric Racing League returns.